now, but
cool.
It's fine.
Okay. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Talking Rugby Union video called TRU Talks, and we are going to talk about England versus Ireland that took place at the weekend. Myself and Chris were both at the games. Different classes of entertainment we received.
Yes, you were in the hospitality, Joe. I was in the peasant seats, as you like. No, Joe, we got offered kindly by Quilter a couple of hospitality tickets on Thursday. I was already going, and so Joe steps up to the mark and had a nice day in hospitality. Some famous faces.
Yeah, Hugo Monnier and Keith Wood were there. Had a picture with Hugo. He's more my time than Keith.
Yes.
So yeah, that was the main reason for that.
Keith was a bit more my time.
Yeah, I mean, you remember the 90s.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, anyway, less about that. But it was very much a throwback to the 90s with the way that Ireland played. Wasn't the greatest of afternoons for them. England winning 57 points to 15 at Twickenham in the 30+ degrees heat. It was a sweaty old day.
It was very hot.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, that's how it went. And myself and Chris are going to analyse a bit of England, a bit of Ireland, probably more England than Ireland, unfortunately, for any Irish people watching this. England. Eddie Jones must be quite happy with his team's performance. They were seemingly better than Ireland in every facet of the game.
Yeah, he would have had a nice glass of wine on Saturday night, feet up, maybe watching the highlights, maybe
with
not.
The dog.
Probably not. Yeah, with the dog. Yeah, he would have had a big smile on his face. He would have been really pleased. I think after that Wales game in Cardiff last weekend, there was not many positives for England to take out of it, but to go and put in that sort of performance against Ireland must have been very, very pleasing for him. You wrote in your piece, Joe, your verdict piece that's gone online today, that England dominated every area of the pitch, and you could tell that in the score. I don't think the scoreline particularly flattered England either, if I'm honest. So yeah, all over the park, very, very impressive, and exactly what they need with not long to go until the World Cup.
Yeah, we'll start on the forwards. Joe Marler, good. His replacement, Mako Vunipola, unfortunately injured after 10-15 minutes on the field.
Yeah.
Didn't look good.
No, not what you need. We spoke to Neil Hatley a couple of weeks ago at Penny Hill, and he was saying Mako was doing well, he was progressing nicely, he was ahead of schedule, and to see him force off the pitch after coming on is exactly what Eddie and Neil and the rest of the coaching team didn't want to see, and as England fans didn't want to see as well. Hopefully it's nothing too serious, hopefully it's just a minor thing, but no news on that yet from Mako, but I think all the England fans will have their fingers crossed that he is fit to get on that plane to the World Cup.
Yeah, Jamie George pretty solid around the field as per usual, like he always is with Saracens.
Yeah.
Carl Sinclair was really impressive.
It's a name that was mentioned a lot on Twitter and social media on Saturday night when I woke up hungover on Sunday morning. You were able to see a lot of people highlighting Sinclair's performance, and question marks were about his temperament. And now against Wales in the Six Nations, he got sin-binned for something he didn't really need to get involved in, but he showed exactly the qualities as a player, and he's going to be a massive asset to England at the World Cup.
Yeah, and scrummaged really well against Cian Healy and
Yes.
Jack McGrath, because of course Cian Healy also forced off with an injury. Another loose head maligned. So that hopefully he's okay. He's one of my favourite players just generally. In the locks, Maratoji had a pretty good game. Great try.
Yeah, great. And
try.
You mentioned it before, Joey's celebration was what was it, Cristiano Ronaldo-esque, did you say?
Yeah, it was very kind of, I don't know how to describe it, kind of stiff.
Yeah, he was, he made that breakthrough, powerful run, and he's just sort of like glided over the line, waltzed his way over the try line and celebrated, and I think that sort of kind of summed up England's performance really. They were powerful, they were right at it from the word go, and they just sort of were in cruise control in the second half, and I think Maro's try maybe embodied all of that. Yeah,
of course, because it seemed like there was an offloading game in it. I mean, I remember, because obviously you were probably closer to this action than I was, and probably see it a bit better. But like there was the sequence ahead of one of the tries. I can't remember who scored it in the end. I think it might have been Elliot Daly.
I think I know what you mean.
And there was probably 7 or 8 offloads in that series.
Yeah.
And Carl Sinclair was involved, Maratoji involved, Tuangi was involved, and things just seemed to tick for England.
It was creative. It was a lot of flair, and I think you're right, Joe. It seems things seemed to tick, and they didn't do that against Wales. It was very one-dimensional, and it was like, does Eddie have a plan B, etc., etc. But that flair and creativity was on show, and I don't know whether that's take nothing away from England's performance. I don't know whether it's because Ireland were off the mark, or off the pace, or Ireland were a bit rusty. But England's creativity was there for all to see, and if anyone was worried about a plan B or a different attacking option, I think England answered all those questions on Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, George Cruz ran the line out brilliantly, got a few steals in the middle of it all. I don't think there was any.
A try, didn't he?
Yeah, I don't think there was any incompletions overall. We'll talk about Billy Vunipola before we talk about the two flankers. Billy Vunipola, it seems like there's less pressure on him than maybe there was a few years ago, even 4 years ago during the Rugby World Cup in England. That it seemed like all the expectations were on Billy to break the game line, whereas now it feels like all the forwards can do that.
Yeah, I think Billy leads the way, doesn't he, in terms of that, and everyone else has sort of followed suit, and this is the sort of way that England want to play, and the modern forward, if you like, wants to play. And I think with Billy, you have to ask Eddie himself, but I do think he's probably the first name or up there in the top names on Eddie's team sheet straight away. You know, he's played all three of the games so far for England. Has he played all three? Yeah. And
wow.
You know, Mark Wilson's come off the bench. You had a really good Six Nations, good autumn internationals as well. So, but yeah, Billy was once again solid, and his qualities were there for all to see for a league winner and a European champion as well.
Yeah, the two flankers, the kamikaze kids that Eddie christened them as, they're always going to be known for that now and for the rest of their careers. Sam Underhill, Tom Curry starting at blind side, Underhill at open side. They seem to be at every contact. They seem to be involved with every ruck. They seem to be involved with just everything, and they weren't too bad in attack either. Combining for Tom Curry's try, for me, they're the two starting names at 6 and 7 now.
Have to be, don't they? They have to be, Joe. Both of them are absolutely brilliant. I tweeted saying from my beer tinted glasses that Sam Underhill had a solid game, and you thankfully confirmed that on the train for me this morning. I did have a look on Twitter, and a few people were saying that he did have a good game, so I was happy with that. But yeah, both of them outstanding. Obviously, Tom missed, came off injured, and everyone was a bit worried about how bad his injury was. But he comes back and performs like that, and it was an absolutely brilliant performance from both of them. And yeah, they do have to be. Maybe that back row is now sorted, Joe.
Yeah, I'd have to say probably is. We'll move a bit further up the park. The one area of concern for England, Ben Youngs didn't really have a good game. Box kicking, erratic.
Yeah, it was just not on the money, was it? It was, there were a few wayward ones, and you were thinking that's not the sort of accuracy we've come to know from Ben Youngs. And then Willie Hines comes on, and he's very, very solid for the amount of time he's on the pitch. And yeah, I think everyone has an off day, don't they? Everyone makes mistakes, and I think Ben Youngs he may feel that he was below par, and he will look at that and review that, and he'll want to try, and if he does start against Italy next Friday or gets on the pitch, you want to put that performance to bed on the weekend and put in a solid display. But Willie Hines was again excellent. I don't think he's really put a foot wrong in the 3 games he's played so far, and if there are any question marks about the 32-year-old who's had no caps going into this sort of warm-up games, why on earth Eddie Jones picked him, I think it's another thing Eddie Jones will be smiling about at the moment, because he's not put a foot wrong and showed exactly what he's capable of.
Yeah, Johan Ackerman singing his praises last Monday when we were at Harvey College. 10 and 12, we'll talk about the axis. Ford Farrell back again, and it worked in style. It did.
It's I've been an advocate of Farrell playing at 10 as much as possible rather than the Ford Farrell combination. I do prefer Farrell at 10, but they were both excellent on the weekend, and similarly to Willie Hines, George Ford has been solid as well. He's been absolutely done the job he needs to do efficiently and well in those first 3 games. And Farrell showed his class. You said before, Joe, that sort of creativity and intelligence that Farrell was able to give in the centre partnership worked really well with Ford. So it might be something Eddie reverts back to. It'd be interesting to see what goes within the Italy game. I know it's probably not as an intense game as the first 3 we've seen, but it'd be interesting to see if it goes forward Farrell or maybe switches Farrell back to 10. But I think with Slade's injury, that might have helped sort of make this partnership a bit of a reborn partnership again. So yeah, it'd be intriguing to see what happens with that.
Manu Tuolangi at 13, man of the match on the day. Monster hit on Jordan Lama, scored a try, was involved with a couple of the other ones.
What a performance.
Manu's back.
Yeah, and we hope to God he doesn't pick up an injury, because
don't play
he showed.
Newcastle.
I mean, I'd love to see him at Newcastle
from
a selfish point of view, but I think you're right, Joe. Manu was back. That was the performance that we've all wanted to see for a very long time from Manu Tuolangi. He was absolutely brilliant, and when it was announced he was man of the match, I don't think anyone of the 80,000+ that were there on Saturday afternoon would have disagreed.
There's a few options, but Manu was definitely the best one.
He was really, really good, and it's the best display for quite a while in an England shirt for him. And like I just said, keep him fit, keep him wrapped up in cotton wool, and we'll see the best of him out in Japan.
How bizarre is it that this is his second World Cup and the last one was 8 years ago?
Yeah, less said that about that the better, I think, with Manu.
Got to be said. It, you know, it's one of those situations. We'll talk about the wings. Joe Thocke and Singer, 2 tries, pretty monstrous display. Johnny May not as much, but still, it doesn't matter who scores the tries as long as you're winning.
Exactly, Joe. It's a great mentality to have that. I think there was a couple of things I read on Twitter on Friday night, Saturday morning, that Joe Cognizant was under a bit of pressure. He hadn't shown sort of his explosiveness that we did see sort of in the back end of last year in the Six Nations at times. I think he showed that. He shut a few people up maybe on the weekend, and we hope he continues that sort of momentum and that sort of performance going forward, because less than a month away now to the World Cup.
Yeah, Elliot Daly, probably his best game at fullback in my opinion anyway. If it seems to have been freed up by the injury to Slade, which means that he is the left-footed kicker in the back line. Yeah,
definitely. You know, there was a couple of moments where I thought he could have defended. A couple of moments where Ireland got forward a bit better, but that's probably being picky, if I'm honest. You know, he was again quite assured. You made the point that he wasn't really put under much pressure, but you've got to do the job, haven't you? You've got to be there and do the job. And you know, attacking wise, he was very good on the weekend, I thought.
Yeah.
And he knows now. You know, last year we went to Wasps Media Day, and he said to us that he does prefer playing centre, and he knows now that his England future will be at 15, and the next sort of 2 months or so he will be playing fullback. I can't see that really changing, and he's sort of made that position his own since the end of last year. So another assured performance from Daly.
Yeah, and we'll just move very quickly on to Ireland because there weren't too many positives there. There was nothing really wrong with the front three, really, just underperformed. Cian Healy, of course, got injured. Jack McGrath stepped up quite well. Yeah. He's going to be at Ulster next season. Who else? The locks were fine. Ian Henderson and Klein, the South African chap. Back row, massive problems for me in the back row. Peter Omani probably had the best game. Josh van der Fleer didn't show up, nor did CJ Stander. I don't remember CJ Stander carrying the ball once.
I think that shows how effective England's forwards were and that back row were for England, because if you're saying the likes of those players, top world-class players, this time towards the end of last year they beat New Zealand, we were lauding the defence, we were lauding how well they played, how well this back row performed, completely outclassed on the weekend.
Well, here's something that you learn in hospitality when Keith Wood's there. He made the assessment that when Ireland are going forward as a team, they can defend quite well, but it's when things get moved side to side they struggle. Yeah. Which obviously England did loads. England always drew over the Irish defence, and that's how they scored so many tries. Jacob Stockdale's wing, that left wing. Yeah, but that's what you learn in hospitality, mate.
Exactly, yeah. The knowledge of Keith Wood there. Yeah. Was it Q&A?
No, him and Ugo Money got on a stage at the end.
Just had a part of chat about the game.
Yeah, a stage that my mother spilled a drink on before the game. She wasn't drinking, by the way. And sorry, Mum. I've already done something on Instagram that she wasn't too happy with. But yeah, no. So not too many positives. Obviously Conor Murray taken off with a head injury, we think. Yeah,
well, he went off with the HI, didn't he? Towards the end of the first half, he came back on, and then straight away he had to go off. Yeah. And I think that lack of creativity from him, no Sexton, massively hampered Ireland's progress, I think, on the weekend.
Yeah, Ross Byrne not having his finest moment ever. His first ever start for Ireland, in fairness to him. Had to rely quite a lot on Rob Kearney, because Rob Kearney seemed to be coming into that line to act as a second playmaker quite a lot, because you're not really going to get, well, you are going to get that from Ringrose, but Bundy Aki, you're not really going to get that from at 12, and maybe that's where he needed help. He was quite static when passing the ball, when kicking the ball. He basically came to a full stop before actually doing anything with it, which in sevens, which is where he kind of became a bit of a name, that's fine, you can kind of get away with that, but then in 15s it's just not good. But maybe he was just a bit kind of, you know, overawed by the whole situation, but I'm sure
it'll be a learning curve, a good learning curve as well.
Well, you know, he's going to be Leinster's first choice, probably for much of the season, with the way they shield Johnny Sexton from things. But moving further back, Jacob Stockdale maybe showing up a bit defensively, great in attack. Yeah, I think Ireland's defence was one of the major worries for Joe Smith. I think he'll go into this week and 2 games against Wales, back to back. He'll want to improve on that. And yeah, I know exactly what you mean with Stockdale. There was a couple of moments where you thought he could have done slightly better there as well. Yeah, Jordan Lama, not his best game. First game on the wing for Ireland in a while. Smashed by Manu Tuolangi. Oh, what a tackle! Yeah, I can't get over that hit. People were saying that it was high.
There was a little bit of debate when it happened, but then I think just the whole of Twickenham were just like, ooh, simultaneously.
I think part of the problem was as well that it looked like he only used one arm. And
When you slow it down, that's where the debate comes in.
It's because he's still rapping when half the contact.
I thought it was that.
Yeah, fine. Rob Kearney, as I said, fine. Wasn't anything intrinsically wrong. Dealt with high balls as well as Rob Kearney does. He's one of the world's best fullbacks still. Yeah. And yeah, that's kind of the analysis from those games. Scotland overcame that. They avenged that loss in Nice the other week, 33-3, 32-3, something like that. But unfortunately, Sam Skinner now going to be out of the Rugby World Cup. Hamstring injury picked up at Murrayfield. People saw the pictures before the game. Everyone seemed very passionate up in Edinburgh at the weekend. Yeah. I'm sure Gary Heatley is going to be doing something off the back of that.
Yeah, he's got access to before they play Georgia on Saturday or on the weekend. But yeah, just on Sam, we've done a couple of pieces. Gary's done a piece with his old coach. We've had a couple of interviews with Sam since he's sort of progressed out of that Exeter University pathway and Exeter Chiefs pathway and into the Scotland setup, and it was great for him towards the end of last year during the Six Nations for him to be involved with Scotland. And it's a massive blow for him, and he's going to be disappointed, but he's still young, and there's a lot more for him to get excited about, but a lot more for us to get excited about watching him as well. So yeah, disappointing for Sam, but I'm sure he'll bounce back.
Yeah, so Scotland now going on to play 2 games against Georgia back to back, one home, one away, or one away, one home, doesn't really matter. And then England are off to Treviso this week, I've heard.
All right, back to Treviso.
Back to the scene of the crime for Mike Brown and Bentia. I mean, they're not in the squad, but you know what I mean. And then they have a game against Italy up in Newcastle, which we'll be going to. More on that in a second. Ireland and Wales play each other back to back for the next 2 weekends as well. I'm looking forward to actually watching those games.
Yeah, they'll be good.
I think they're going to be pretty tasty. It's starting to drizzle, and I felt some specks anyway. I'm trying to think what else is going on. But yeah, we'll be up in Newcastle next week.
Next Thursday, Friday, we'll be up in Newcastle, train up, and hopefully getting a lot of content around the game. That will be at the game at St James's Park on a Friday night. One of the most iconic sporting stadiums in the country, I'd say.
It's my favourite. Yeah.
I loved going there when I was up in the North East at university. So yeah, really looking forward to getting up there, Joe, and seeing England's final game before they head to Japan.
Yeah, it should be great, and of course we're going to be catching up, hopefully, with Talking Rugby Union columnist and Italy international Seb Negri, as well as meeting some of his English-speaking pals, maybe even Big Surge.
Who knows?
Who knows? But yeah, I mean, we're really looking forward to that. Myself and Chris. Friday night in Newcastle could be worse.
Yeah, best city for me going out.
It's my favourite city. Really.
Yeah, it's great, and looking forward to it. Well, the media. I think the media closes at 11 o'clock on the next Friday night, Joe. So straight out.
Straight out.
No, we remain.
Not even dropping the bags out.
We remain professional.
Yeah, we won't go out. But yeah, I'm trying to think what else is going on. We've of course been to a few media days that some people may have seen plastered across our social media, in particular mine. Chris, you've not posted for any of them, have you?
I've done a couple.
You've done a couple?
I've done. I did one with a sail, where we did a lot of things at sail.
That was good.
Did one last week with Chris Boyd. But yeah, we've been Sale, Gloucester, Northampton. We've got Wasps coming up.
I went to Worcester last week.
Over the next couple of days, yeah.
There's a special thing coming from that Worcester day as well. Maybe a new columnist.
Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
No, we know.
That is what it is.
We know.
But guess who it is? And might as well.
Yeah.
And then what else? We're off to Wasps tomorrow, where we've been asked to do a podcast with Josh Bassett and Tom Cruise.
Yeah, looking forward to that as well. Yeah, they've started their own podcast, haven't they, at the club? So talk a bit about that and talk all things Premiership rugby and elsewhere in the rugby world.
Yeah, so still plenty of stuff to go on with Talking Rugby Union, not just international stuff this autumn. We've got Premiership, Championship. What else we got?
Premiership Cup.
Oh, Premiership Cup, Premiership Shield.
National Leagues.
National Leagues, of course, our favourite. We're actually off to Preston tonight to do a bit of National League stuff for the NCA, so we're really looking forward to that. It's going to be a good night. And yeah, things are hotting up on Talking Rugby Union with less than a month to go.
As we say, hotting up, Joe, and it's now gone very, very cloudy.
This is the coldest it's been all day.
Yes.
Even at 6 a.m. this morning when I left the house.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, thank you very much for watching this Talking Rugby Union video. This has been Chris Heal. You can find his socials at C_Heal on Instagram and Twitter. My name's Joe Harvey. You can find my socials at JoeHarvey34 on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. And you can find Talking Rugby Union at Talk Rugby Union on Twitter, Talking Rugby Union on Instagram and Facebook. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled for loads more content on Talking Rugby Union, and hopefully you'll see us again soon.